Welcome to the J.R. Hendrick Texan Gentleman, a podcast that deals with the early life of J.R. Hendrick, and now Renewal Weekends Part 2. Pardon for the technical difficulties on this last one. We're going to try this again. "7 a.m. Central. At Swainfield, J.R. is moping in Jennifer's dust. 20 minutes ago, her plane had departed for Houston. Suddenly, Ken walks in. "Can we have a little breakfast around here?" Ken said. "Elena's making us some waffles. But I want to take you out to lunch," J.R. said. "You know, it's hard to believe that this is our place for the weekend. Jim Bob is a fool for not staying last night." "I guess his aunt asked him to stay at home. No big deal. I'm just glad he didn't mention Brad. With his aunt right there, I doubt it would happen. He knows how we feel about him." Elena announces that breakfast is ready. So they sit down to have some waffles and some orange juice, along with some bacon. 11 a.m. Meanwhile, at the conference center in Baton Rouge, Jim and Betsy get VIP sitting for the billigram crusade. And he stands to listen and sing some of the worship songs, mostly hymns. The choruses that were popular among some of the young people was not something he was into. 11 a.m. Darren arrives at the ranch to pick up J.R. and Ken. "Let's roll," Ken said, getting into the car. "Good to hang out, my brother." There was a short pause. "I tell you what, J.R., I sure know that public affairs surely fits you. It's just my best. Make sure that I'm not in Daddy's back pocket," J.R. said. "Man, would you try to go easy on your dad? He's not such a bad guy. And I don't care what Brad or Jim Bob may say about your parents. What do they know? They don't even like what you're studying. That you're studying public affairs. That's their problem. They know absolutely nothing. Look, I understand that you're trying to turn over a new leaf. But I also don't know where they're at. But I also am aware that Brad and Jim Bob can help me if they can quit being such snobs. Brad is too passive for his own good, unless it suits him. At least Jim Bob and you have guts. But you have even more guts because of how you were raised. Your father. Don't dismiss that. Whatever you say. Let's just go to Taco Villa and get some lunch. 12:30 p.m. Taco Villa, JR and Ken talk during their meal. I see why you like advertising, JR said. Ties into the artistic part of me. It's because you get to turn doors with any BS you want. Nice. Ain't your major the same thing? No. Because I get to advocate for real causes that I believe in. And we'll and not sell products that I don't believe in. Obviously, you haven't learned anything from the summer we vacated together. Memo to the observer. Were you doing it for your own education or for your dad? Nice, Kenny. I really appreciate that. 1 p.m. Back in the truck, JR and Ken talk. JR, why Jennifer Bowers? Ken asked. What, you don't like Jennifer Bowers? You don't like her, Kenny? Sure I do. But I only met her a few times. What would make you want to marry her? Well, I love her because she's sweet. I love her because she's smart. We're both potential public affairs agents, JR said, motioning for Darren to take them back to the ranch. 7 p.m. It's a star-studded party that night in the hotel ballroom. And the promoters play God Bless Texas by Little Texas when Jim enters the room and the crowd is chanting for a speech. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, JR is getting ready to party down. JR, Ken, Jim Bob Horton, Harold, Rand, Mike Foster, a friend of Cousin Joe's, who was his roommate at Texas Tech. Francis McAdoo, a friend of Cousin Joe's from prep school, who was going to graduate school at Texas Tech. Olivia Reynolds, JR's old prep school flame, with her date Donnie. Last but certainly not least was Tim Newcastle, who had come to be with his family for the weekend. Tim Newcastle was a neighbor of JR's. Okay, we're doing good. October 2, 1994. 1:30 a.m. Two hours before, Jim had gone to bed immediately after returning from the party. But now he's woke up with a hangover and realizes that he can't go to today's billigram crusade with a hangover. He gives himself a vitamin B12 shot. He learned how to give himself and others injections in Vietnam. And for a time, between 1980 and 1986, he gave JR growth hormone shots. He makes himself a pot of hot coffee. Chasing it down would be Motrin. 2 a.m. Jim is watching CNN with Katie Carter, who also woke up with a hangover. Jim gave her Motrin and coffee. 3 a.m. Jim urged Kate to sleep her hangover off. Last night at the party, she had gotten into a bit of an argument with her husband, Blake. 6 a.m. JR sits in the den at Swainfield. His friends had left the night before, and so he is reading his Bible quietly. Fabian was making breakfast burritos for him. Cousin Billy was picking him up this morning to go to church. And then after that, he was to return home to the ranch and pack for the trip back to Lubbock. They would stop at Seminole to pick up Stony Rosen and then finish the return back to Lubbock by 6:45. 7:50 a.m. In Baton Rouge, Jim and Betsy, Blake and Katie wake up and have breakfast. Katie said that she and Blake would go to the family worship church in Baton Rouge. But Jim and Betsy said they wanted to go to the billigram crusade again for today. At the same time, Jim finished his breakfast first, and then he rushes out, even in his suit, to ride Bandit. As stated some time back, Bandit was first Kyle's horse. However, JR would grow very fond of him. 1 p.m. Back at the ranch, Elena, at Mama's insistence, is packing my luggage. At 2, Fabian would load up the luggage in the Hummer so that Darren could take it to be gassed up before taking a 5 p.m. drive to Seminole to meet Stony Rosen. 1:35 p.m. Back at the hotel, Jim orders lunch for himself and Betsy. A few hours ago, Jim was vexed at Betsy for them arriving late for the billigram crusade. But when he heard Billy Graham's preaching, it made it all worthwhile. And he took copious notes. 2:25 p.m. Jim and Betsy take the Mercedes-Benz limo from the hotel to Pete Maravich Assembly Center for the Sunday afternoon billigram crusade. 3:15 p.m. Jim is again enjoying the billigram crusade in VIP seating as an evangelist preaches about revival through faith, hope, and love. 6:45 p.m. JR and Sony leave the Dairy Queen in Seminole and are listening to Grassroots, a gospel band of the Assemblies of Christ. And after that, they switch tracks over to Carmen's Addicted to Jesus album. 8:35 p.m. Back in my dorm room, I was greeted by Kevin McDonald, who told me that Dave and Charlie were out swimming against Baylor, and they would not be back in the room until around 11 o'clock at night. Placing the answering machine and attaching it to the phone in the living room, I set it up following the instructions thanks to the help of Kevin McDonald. I had bought that answering machine this weekend with a trust fund I got from my daddy. 8:45 a.m. At the hotel in Baton Rouge, Jim, Betsy, Claude, and Becky are having boudin. Hope you enjoy listening to the J.R. Hendrick Texan Gentleman. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and become a part of the adventure. This is James Hendrick Empowerment saying until next time, get ready for the rest of the story. It's going to get a bit bumpy from here.